Okay, everybody, I'm joined in the studio by Az and Leo from Mythic Games, and it's time for the Mythic Games State of the Union update. Amazing information
State
drop.
of the Union. Yes, a vote has been passed, and Leo is out. I shall be taking over as president of Mythic Games, and minis for everybody. That could never happen. That could never happen. Who am I kidding? Yes, this is a chance for us to sit down. It's been a while since we kind of sat down and just went, what is happening with us?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a big year coming.
Yeah.
It's been a busy couple of years, but it's a big year coming. So this was a kind of our chance to do a bit of where are we now? Where are we with kind of the 3 games that we've successfully kickstarted?
Yep.
And a little bit of a teaser later on about what's coming, just for you guys.
I do love teasers.
So yeah, we kind of just wanted to delve
There are
in.
a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
So many things happened and so many things are coming.
Yeah. So we'll kind of, to be honest with you, let's just go. We're going to take them one at a time.
Okay.
We're going to kick it off with our first one with Joan of Arc and chat about. I have a playthrough of Joan of Arc in front of me.
Of course.
And Leo always gets pleasure in saying, because these are the final.
These are the final plastic minis. The ones you will all get very, very soon because the first boat arrived. And
At time of filming, literally yesterday, the first ships are arriving in Europe. But essentially, I know this is going out pretty soon to you guys, so you'll see it pretty live. Basically, backers worldwide should be starting to get Joan of Arc Wave 1 within the next couple of weeks. There's a few days between each of the boats. For example, there were 5 boats went to Europe, 18 40-foot containers for just Wave 1 for just Europe. That's not America, it's not Canada, Australia.
Wow.
18 40-foot containers across 5 ships.
So can I get a photograph of Leo unloading these?
Well, we had one of them riding it Titanic style, but they wouldn't, insurance reasons, they wouldn't let us share that. So yeah, obviously with that much stuff, it wasn't really feasible for us to put it all in just one boat, because as soon as a container was full, we were like, right, go get it to backers. So it does mean that some backers may get it a week or two before others. It's just unfortunately the nature of the beast when it comes to something quite this.
And we can't really tell who's going to have it first.
Yeah, it's a question we get all the time.
Yeah.
Which boat is mine on? So, because we always give the ship names out, so you can actually, if you follow us on What's Up Wednesdays or on Kickstarter or on Facebook, we give the ship names out, so you can go on and you can track and you can follow where it is. There's a lot of people active on our Discord who do that. So for us, we're checking it kind of every day because we're super excited as well.
Yeah. And so no sea pirates? Coming from China, no sea pirates?
Touch wood. Touch wood as it goes around India, up the Suez Canal, through the Mediterranean, and I'm watching it going past Spain, past France, and all the UK guys are going, make it stop here, and I'm like, sorry guys, it's got to go to Rotterdam, and then it goes shipping out from there for Europe. And again, I'll say quickly, American, Canadian, rest of world, and Australian backers, all of theirs are currently being put onto containers as well. The trip across is a little shorter. They don't have to take quite as long on the ship, so they're kind of going second, so they'll start to arrive around the same time. So essentially, May, all being well, it's going to be a busy Joan of Arc month for everyone that backed or indeed late pledged.
Yeah, and then towards the end of May, you're going to be at Expo as well.
Yes, we are going to be at Expo from the 31st of May to 2nd of June. We're super looking forward to that. We're a supporting sponsor this year.
Nice.
So you can find us when you go through the door, look to the right, there's us. You really can't miss us. So we'll have a bunch of new stuff there, which we'll talk about a little bit of later. But of course, we'll be there en masse, and
people who want to play with our games can play with our games.
Absolutely. We're going to have tons of demo tables, tons of guys showing off everything. So if you haven't got it, you can still know. Hopefully a lot of you will have it. But if you haven't got it, you want to play some of Reichbusters, you want to play some of Joan of Arc, you want to play some of our new stuff that's upcoming, it'll be there.
Yeah.
So yes.
I'm a little sad that this time on your visit across, we haven't been playing Reichbusters.
Yeah. So this time, because obviously now we brought with us Joan of Arc. We also brought with us some stuff we'll talk about a little later. And we can only fit so much time into a visit. So we focused on a couple of games, but that doesn't mean we won't be back, because we've been doing a lot more with both.
And with Joan of Arc, we played with the final material, so you can see that for the first time.
So yeah, if we skip forward, like I want to show. Oh, we're skipping. This is actually a good time to talk about this though. So this is perfect. So we filmed a battle mode video at Beasts of War. Well, I think we'll say it. Justin took on the unholy, Leo took on the holy, and you guys went at it, right?
Yeah, we're not going to give away the results of that because we want you to watch it, but I will say, I had a lot of fun playing this style of scenario.
How did you find this guy?
Really fun, really tough as nails. Oh yeah, look at him. Look at him!
He's a bit...
He's huge.
He's awesome.
But in-game, he was an absolute monster, but with the battle mode, I found it a very different feeling because it was sort of an army that I was tailoring a little bit myself more, and I was able just to have a bit more of a play about with the different special rules and stuff I wanted my units to have and how I was going to actually lay them out and group them at the start of the game. Whereas with your scenarios, you're kind of sort of predetermined where you're laid out.
It really is a second game in the game. You know, really, because you get to know each of your units very well, and eventually you know exactly what combos or what things you can do with each of them. I also must say something about this. So once you receive your game, the battle modes will be available. Rules will be available on a PDF to download to everyone on the mythicgames.net website.
Of course,
and it will be a living document. It will be updated regularly.
Yeah.
So when we say wave 1 and the battle mode and the army we did here, it's because the first army lists we are going to provide are just with wave 1.
Yes.
But then as soon as wave 2 arrives, then you can create your armies with everything.
This is a perfect example because you've got the Unholy Army there, but the Apocalypse box, for example, will be coming in wave 2 a little later this year. So whenever the Unholy Army list
same with
that.
the angels. I had Saint Michael, but there's also
Triumph.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Gabriel is here, but Raphael is in wave 2, and you have plenty of other holy units that are in wave 2. So same for but it's still fun to play, even if it's with less material to choose from. But
you see, I like the control that I have. I mean, like in this game, I had down the bottom, you can see the resources. So I had spare points. So I was fit to buy in some extra stuff to begin with, just to give me that little bit of a head start with my forces, give me a little more control over them, which worked really good.
Synergize it the way you want to. Yeah, for me personally, we've played a couple of battle modes ourselves as well, and I love working out on paper, first of all, how I want it to go down, and then trying to make that actually happen on the tabletop. It's great fun.
And it's a different experience than the scenario mode. The scenario mode tells a story. You have stories here as well because you can have the civilians still, and they add a little thing, but it's a different feeling. It really is about focusing on your objective and moving your troops. And
and one angel can make all the difference. Sometimes.
Oh yes, so, okay, I think we have some more pictures I want to show for Joan of Arc.
Yeah, sure. Nah. You had to get this one.
I couldn't resist this one. Yeah, this is, so that gives you an idea of the scale.
So where is the beast? I'm asking.
Our beast is about the size of half a Justin. This was too much fun.
Who's the beast?
Yeah, we had some discussion on our Facebook page about who the actual beast was. They're equally awesome.
Yeah. Moving on, I think that's the end of Joan of Arc.
I have a couple more pictures actually for Joan of Arc stuff. If we have a little look, if go.
No, it's all Solomon Kane.
I want to show.
Let me have a peek here.
Have a nosy.
Technical wizardry.
This one, we couldn't. Yeah, if you haven't followed our Facebook page, and Mythic Games Facebook, you might have missed this. But this is essentially all of the mass production, the final versions of Wave 1, plus the pre-production copies of Wave 2, which is what we get to do our kind of final checks of all the print and all the minis, make sure it's all good. And we stacked it all together with our Leo.
So that's everything. That includes even the things that we offered during the Pledge Manager.
Yeah.
So
the siege equipment, the Ottoman army.
Siege equipment, Ottoman army. One of the 3 beige boxes is the plunder, and then you also have the role-playing game and the compendium.
So actually, let's go. So bottom to top, we have core box, the stretch goal box. So all the stretch goals everybody unlocked added into a custom box, the reliquary. Then we got the dragon. Then we got the one that everyone went, oh my goodness, this box is actually bigger than the dragon. How is that even possible? The siege. Then we have the apocalypse. Then we have Unleash Hell, which is where the devil is found. We have the village pack. Then we have the legendary battles, which is for those mass scale 6-player huge big battles. We've then got the what's above that.
Super exclusive.
Super exclusives, which of course is where you get the beast, where you get Magog and not the beast. It's
Gog and Magog, the tavern, and the crew of the.
This was our thank you note to everyone that supported us with our first Kickstarter. Then you've got the Ars Nova.
That's it.
Then you've got the compendium. Then you've got the role playing game. Then you've got the
role playing game supplement
and a DM screen. Then you got the plunder. Then you got the Ottoman box, and at the very top you have the siege equipment.
That's it.
Wow.
We don't actually have the neoprene mat in there, which we realised we forgot.
That is a hell of a lot of stuff for your game.
Yes.
You know, people are going to be fit to play that for years.
Yeah, I mean, with over 40 different scenarios before you even delve into playing them multiple times and the replayability, before you delve into the battle mode, before you delve into the role-playing game, you really could have an entire...
The role-playing game also, I just want to mention it, it really is very, very, very good. I've played it, and we've also used some of the material they give, the background they give. So for players, it's really something that will give them plenty of background for their games and plenty of ideas if they want to create scenarios. Because of course, in this game, you will be able to create your own scenarios, especially with the scenario generator that will be offered soon. So we will have a digital app. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that means you can create your own scenario and then have it shared with everybody. So like the way in the end it will look like the way our scenarios are presented. So eventually we'll have plenty of other scenarios for the community.
We'd love to highlight, you know, big popular community scenarios. Like we got a fantastic Facebook group, a fantastic Discord, and our hope is as the game starts to arrive, we'll get a big community on Board Game Geek as well, and we can enjoy the forums on there. And of course with the Beast of War guys as well, we've got to make a proper Beast of War scenario, right? Like it's got to happen. You know, a beast and a war, it's easy peasy. We want to talk a little bit, obviously we're here doing a bunch of filming, but we've been doing a little bit of filming, ourselves as well. So a few pictures of Leo and I, we released this video about a week or so ago where we had our first proper battle mode with John Chandos, me playing the English, and Leo with Dugascon.
Duguesclin.
Always get it wrong.
Question, where do you get the dice tower? I want one.
That's in the plunder. That's in the Joan of Arc dice tower. When you got the plunder set, you could have got the dice tower on its own as well. That's part of our add-ons alongside the banners and the bases and the extra dice. It's kind of one of those nice to has if you want to kind of pretty up your table. And we loved playing with it. The dice tower was so very nice to me.
And it was a good game. The other ones I'm not telling again.
Yes, this is what I wanted to say. So obviously we're here filming. We did 3 battle modes videos we've recorded, and we're going to put that on our YouTube channel. One's out already with 2 more still to come on the Mythic Games YouTube. But we're here with you guys as well, doing some battle and some scenario stuff. So on the Beast of War channel, you guys will have plenty here too. So we're trying to put as much content out there as possible. People have something to tide them over until they get their hands on it.
So that's everything for Joan of Arc, yeah?
I don't know, it's hard to say everything for Joan of Arc, right? But that's pretty much...
Maybe we can mention Wave 2.
Yeah, so Wave 2, we've got all of the pre-production now, which is essentially signed off. So we've gone through, checked everything, gone through all the text, we're happy with all the mini quality, and that's basically entering into full production now. So essentially what we always say to our backers, we do a What's Up Wednesday every single Wednesday for all of our games. So Joan of Arc has had like 130 plus updates or something. I think it's even more than that since its start.
Crazy.
So in there, we'll have all the details about the shipping, about the production timeline, and we'll kind of, as soon as we know when the estimated packing's beginning, the estimated shipping's beginning, we'll kind of share that there. At the moment, we're still very much looking at sort of end of Q2, Q3, that kind of timeline roughly. But we'll kind of update that as soon as we have the information, our backers have it.
All right, so the next thing then
is
Solomon Kane.
Mr. Kane, the witch hunter himself.
Yeah.
And we have news for this as well.
Yeah, Giddy, what you got?
So we'll get this kind of semi-bad news out of the way first of all, which is we have announced a delay in Solomon Kane's delivery. So we ran this in July last year, and we were initially hoping to aim for something like a 1 year turnaround, so a July delivery. We are going to be extending that into Q1 next year. Now we made that decision, to be honest with you, and for the benefit of the game holding. We're going to chat about some of that in a second, but we've decided we'd employ a full-time writer. So we have an external contractor writer who writes for us non-stop, essentially, so we can build stories around the short stories that Robert E. Howard did. So whenever you're going through the narrative, you're choosing divergent paths, there's real text there. Right now, we're looking at about 200,000 words worth of text in Solomon Kane. It's really astronomical, and we really made this decision to say, what we have here is a great game, but we can really take this to the next level. We can improve our tile art that we've shown, we can improve with the initial previews and prototypes.
We went way further to what we first showed in the Kickstarter. Way further.
And we're going to chat a little bit about that, because where we are. Because at the moment, production-wise, sculpting-wise, art-wise, tile-wise, we're really on plan. Everything's gone perfectly. We have a selection of plastic minis we'll look at in a second, which, again, we're very, very much happy with. And really what we're now doing is investing a bit more time than we originally had planned into the game and into the stories and the lore and that narrative.
See, I think that's the best reason to have a delay. I know people will say it's bad news, but it's also kind of good news because you're making the game better. You're taking the time to add the craft to it, to actually make it something Really, really worthwhile.
It's not a decision we came to lightly. We didn't just say, we're trying to delay our backers, we're trying to delay any delivery. That's not what we want to do. We want to make a really excellent game. This is a license that we really value. And, Cabinet have been very open in saying to us, what you guys are doing with Solomon Kane is redefining him. The art that we're doing, that Guillaume Ponchalupi has done, is really defining what Solomon Kane is in like the 21st century, So, yeah, it would make
they
the
were
right
very
move.
open for that. And yes, and we really want to bring a game. So we believe that if people wait for a game that will be remembered forever, that's what we hope. Then it's worth a little wait.
Yeah.
It's not easy for us, because it costs a lot to us. It's because you mentioned the writer that we hired, but we have also a full team dedicated completely and exclusively to Solomon Kane, and we have like crazy numbers for this game. We will talk about it later, but we have like an incredible amount of tiles, probably, and so waiting for this, I think, will be for the best interest of the game.
So I think that,
and the gamers.
One of the things I think that sets Solomon Kane apart, and it's something that we knew going in, and we made a very conscious decision about going in, is just the uniqueness of every single story. So it's hard for you guys to see at home, but on the table in front of us here, we have a whole range of our plastic minis from the factory. But in here, we have, this is just a small sample. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 completely different adventures. There's no duplicated minis on this table. Every mini is a character. It is unique. Even our thugs and our pirates and our vandals, there's real character in them. And we did that with the minis. We knew we were going to have a lot of individual sculpts, a lot of individual protagonists and villains, but we really wanted to double down on that in what you as a player can do with the game. So if you make a decision to creep through the castle window and you disturb the maid, that should have a real narrative impact. There should be an entry in the storybook where you can go and find out about what you've done and what it's done to Solomon and the current state. And that's something that needed more time than we first
yeah,
thought about.
The replayability will really be there because of course you have the stories that were told, but you will have plenty of other paths. Plenty.
So let's look at just even one of the stories.
Yeah, sure.
Blue Flame of Vengeance is one that we showed very, very early on, and it's one that's developed really nicely for me. So that is all of these minis here.
From here back, yeah?
From there back. So essentially what we have is the story of betrothed love. We have the story of an evil George Banway, this kind of aristocrat who's trying to exert his force and break up this young couple. And we have the intertwined story of pirates who are trying to Solomon Kane, because is hunting this pirate, the fishhawk, Jonas, and he's trying to hunt them down. And these are just a sampling of some of the characters. And even that guy you're just holding was just a basic thug.
This is random pirate number 2.
Yes, well, yes.
Again, these are the plastic minis. So these are the final things that people will receive, and we mixed. You can look at the base. The bases are very, very, very detailed. The weapons are very straight and not bendy at all, because we used a mixing of PVC and ABS, and so I was very, very happy when we received the final minis, because they are exactly. You wouldn't really tell the difference between them and the resin, and so people will have almost a collection minis with this game.
So let me show, just while you have those ones there, let me give you this, Justin, and this is actually in 2 parts. I wanted to show everybody at home. What we're doing is actually this is from a technical aspect really interesting, and we're doing an individual base for every single different sculpt and every single different character in the game. So they'll come pre-built, everything will come already glued and assembled for you to play, but that's how you'll find it. You'll find the base on its own, and then we will assemble them for you, so when it arrives you have your characters like that. So every single base is its own unique little character. So I'll compare it to this one, for example. Leo was talking about the weapons. Each story takes place in a different environment. We have Americas, we have forests, we have caves, we have castles, we have streets. So this henchman, this bodyguard essentially to the Witchfinder General, is fighting outside taverns and in cobble streets and in town. So the sandy beaches, the swamps of the likes of our Traveller and Ezra, they're all going to be very different.
Even the thugs and like the henchmen, look at the sculpts. It's not like...
And it's not just a basic sculpt, it's actually a really nice dynamic pose that you've done. You've got them in motion, in action. That snapshot of them in mid-fight or preparing to attack is really nice.
Look at this guy. This guy is a hero. I love the
this is the epitome of a real sword fighting pose.
Look at how dynamic this is.
Now my favorite
sense of motion.
My favorite mini is actually our shepherd, because he has not only a little sheep. Now he's from, you'll say it for me, the Logre. Ogre? How do you say it, Leo?
Logre.
So he's from the scenario which has, I'll give you him as well. The Logre.
It takes place in French.
Yes.
In France.
And as you can see, the Logre is stealing from the farmer, and he has just a little sheepy on his back that he's protecting with his dog. And we didn't want to hold back on the bases, on the detail, and this, as exactly as Leo says, these are the plastic finals that we're now pretty happy with. We're very happy.
Yes, very
There's
happy.
one miniature I want to see here. The Butcher.
No, it's not the Butcher, it's this one, right? Surely.
Oh,
It's got to be. I mean, we can show the Butcher, but it's got to be that one, right?
It's the innkeeper. The innkeeper, well, not very welcoming innkeeper, but...
Look at him presenting Leonidas, the town crier, the innkeeper with his butcher's cleaver, saying, "Look at this man. Would you like me to cleave him?" And this was a free stretch goal. During the campaign, we asked our backers to go on to Facebook and Instagram and BGG and share and get involved in the campaign. And we gave away a bunch of digital wallpapers, a bunch of art. We put 4 posters into the game, and we put Leo as the town crier into the game also. Isn't it good?
Yeah. Although I have to say, I'm looking at the Butcher. There's a lag. Is he cooking people?
I could neither confirm nor deny.
Do you know the the story Rattle of Bones?
No, but I'm thinking Soylent Green.
So I think one thing I want to show as well is, of course, when you're playing Solomon Kane, you're playing as the virtues. So I kind of feel remiss if we didn't kind of talk about them. So this is courage, and if you compare her to the size of kind of our average human, you can see.
So there's your average person.
Yeah.
And this is courage. So when the players play, you're obviously in the core game, you're playing cooperatively as the different virtues leading Solomon. So this is courage herself, a gorgeous mini. And these will give you such presence, because when you place them on the board, they're going to be exuding auras. They're going to be helping you fight the darkness. Speaking of darkness, if you don't want to play cooperatively, you can have a player take on the role of darkness and play competitively. And that player will get to play as the darkness mini against the virtues, working against them. And this is a mode that we're very excited about. That's going to add an extra level of style.
We don't have Solomon Kane here because we only received the first copies of the plastic minis. Not all of them yet, but almost all of them. And Solomon is a more complex thing to do because of the ABS and PVC mixing. So
I'm looking to see a good example. So, for example, this is a basic traveler. So we have a few challenges. The dress of the period, obviously we have a lot of swords, we have a lot of spears. Also, these fine hats with these brims. We wanted to try and keep the detail nice and sharp on them. So with these, with Solomon, we're taking a bit more time. So what we have here are essentially the minis that we're happy with, but we do go back to the factory over and over again to make sure they improve on what they're doing. And this Justice is a great one because it's really instantly recognizable. The blind Justice with the balancing scales is something that I think everybody can kind of see, because it's so commonplace even in modern day.
But what I love is it's plastic. It's just when we will show plastic painted minis as well, and people will see that all the details you can have.
Gorgeous work.
Just,
and then who is the last one?
Well, this is Temperance, Temperance is, if you get right under, you can see she is levitating with her balancing jars of sand, essentially, where she's the one that kind of exudes keeping a clear mind, doing the right thing, keeping your temperament in good form. She's the kind, if you're a kind of player that wants to kind of talk your way out of situations, she's very good at helping with that and discovering things and looking around environments and discovering clues.
I love this one too.
It's George Banway. He's the stuck-up aristocrat who's kind of a little bit up himself, who's getting mixed in with some pirates that he really shouldn't be, and Solomon will have to choose how he wants to deal with George.
I've had enough of you today. I'm throwing away my hat and coming with my sword.
That's it, right? So we're pretty happy with the progress that we're making on this. As I say, every detail really matters.
So the minis.
God, you've even sculpted wrinkles on his forehead.
I know.
The seashells on the sandy beach ones also get me as well. There's a few different ones because the sword fight takes place if you go down that story route on the beach. The crab. I mean, we have some big beasties too. You know, we have the likes of the Beast of Bordeaux, who is a big alpha wolf that Solomon has to work out how to deal with because it's terrorizing the local villagers.
Yeah, and then the details in and around the base there with all the different bits that you've sculpted in there.
Yeah, it's the dead deer essentially that it's
big.
standing
it's really
on.
big mini.
Lovely.
Yeah, the ogre is also great. You've shown that. We'll have some even bigger mini. The biggest one is the red horror.
Yes.
We don't have it yet, but it's coming.
Gribbly. Red horror is something.
And
something
it's very,
shocking.
very impressive. It's very Lovecraft.
Yes.
You did send me some slides as well. For
Yes,
the
of
things you wanted
course.
to talk about.
So the sculpting is going the way we want, obviously, but what we've also been doing is working a lot on the tiles. Now, way back at the start of the Kickstarter, you know, we kind of let people know just how many tiles there were going to be in the game and how they were going to vary from scene to, or from story to story.
Yep.
I wanted to give a quick idea to everyone at home to show. So we've got like a tavern, we've got a castle hall, we've got a bedroom, and we've got like an outside muddy stables where you're kind of creeping in. So this essentially shows you that just in one single story, depending on the choices you take, you could have completely different environments, completely different interactions with characters that you're going to have to deal with. And we're taking this Castle of the Devil and we're taking this opportunity to really explore it. And again, it's Guillaume Pongilupi we're working with on this, and he's just doing a stunning job.
So the same artist that did all the art did the tiles as well, which almost all the tiles, which is going to give the game a very harmonious feel.
It's going to help with the continuity.
Oh yeah.
Because the style will match.
And
it'll
we'll have
feel
so
one
many
matches the other.
different tiles, you know, it's ridiculous. Normally games have like 40 tiles, that's already a lot, and we'll probably have close to 200 tiles, which is crazy, yes.
To give you an idea, as you approach the castle, you will be forced or have the decision, or depending on your actions, certain outcomes will happen. Sometimes it's your choice, direct and simple, just choose a path. Sometimes it's your actions have outcomes. Sometimes you're kind of forced, depending on how well or how badly you do, to go a certain route. So as you approach the castle, maybe you go through the entrance, maybe you set a distraction in the stables, maybe you climb in the bedroom window, maybe you go and try and meet with the servants and liaise with them to try and get some information. This is the kind of versatility we're talking about each individual story, and there's loads and loads of stories. And so yes, this is hopefully, I think Leo nailed it earlier, this is going to be something that will really last, not just a game, but something that you and your family can just go and say, instead of having story time tonight, let's delve into Solomon Kane. Yeah. And we have more tiles to show again about the versatility. This is from the Beast of Bordeaux. This is some of our cave tiles. I love this piece of art with Solomon looking really.
I kind of want that as like an A2 poster.
Right. Yeah, we did it. We are including a few bits of art for our backers, thanks to them breaking the social stretch goals, which was outstanding. Cool. So this, we've got a lot of versatility, which is just to show we're taking our time with this. So we really appreciate the backers understanding with us kind of reworking.
Yeah, the reaction has been very nice. So I want to thank the people for their understanding.
The reaction was incredible, actually. We had
what was their initial reaction? Can you open the pledge manager back?
It was
People want to open again.
Yes.
Which because usually what you know when you're on a Kickstarter, you'd like to keep the pledge manager open as long as possible for people to get all the details and everything in ahead of the delivery. And then once you get to the point that you want to send stuff to the factories, you need to then say, look, we need all the details.
You have to have that cutoff point to lock it in.
So because we moved that cutoff point back to the start of next year, essentially when we're looking to deliver it, their reaction was, can we get in to get some more, please? And what can you say? We were overwhelmed.
So surprised by this reaction, but so happy also, because we know it's not a good news to announce, but we try to explain and give everything, and
But you're doing it for the right reasons. It's not that there's problems; it's that there are creative things that you want to do.
There's opportunities that we can't ignore.
Exactly.
We really can't.
It's an enhancement delay, not a problem delay.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, because this is not going to ever go to retail. Solomon Kane is, so the late pledge for it is open on GameOnTableTop.com. If someone, if you are interested at all in the game, it's not going to go to retail. We didn't do that license agreement, so we want to curate this really, really well this time. Yeah. I have a couple of other things to show. So we have
updated old tricks.
Well, we've obviously done some gameplay footage. We came to be so what we did. Some we've done a couple of videos ourselves as well. One thing we've done since the Kickstarter and since playing the game even more is we've gone back and reworked all of the virtues. We've changed their decks. We've made them feel more unique, more epic, giving players more ownership of the world that they're impacting by being a holy, powerful, virtue of light. And one of the things we've done as well, if you skip forward onto the next slide, is we've introduced the 7 deadly sins to counteract this. So, for example, your virtues are now more powerful. However, you're going to come across these events. If darkness reaches Solomon, events trigger, horrible things start to happen. And one of the things that can happen is he can start to fall and succumb to sin. And the virtues have to work against this. So in this example here, what we see is pride, which actually believing that one is superior or more important than others, failing to acknowledge the accomplishments of others, and excessive admiration of self. This forces all virtues to get removed from the board, and virtues can no longer be replaced or put on the board at all unless you can work together to quell this darkness by putting a light token on this. This is like a permanent aura that impacts the story until you deal with it. And it's not Solomon that has to do with it. It has to be the virtues that put that light there.
Yeah, but it's showing the pressures that Solomon's under going through the story. If he's out and he's, seeing all of the lower classes and it's just like, well, I'm better than all of you. All of a sudden, boom.
This is it. And this is an extra level of detail and randomness and replayability.
Over what we initially had. The ideas of the 4 virtues came from him being such a believer, almost a zealot, and so we said, he believes in the 4 cardinal virtues, so we had them as the players, and then it meant sense to also have the 7
This was almost
scenes.
a backer-driven thing as well. We did have quite a few ask us what about.
Even the best can fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Solomon again has his dark moments for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Yeah. So to be honest, that's kind of an update on where Solomon King is. Realistically, if you are interested, as I say, coming to the Kickstarter page, reading some of the comments and the updates there, and then having a look at GameOnTabletop.com, you can see what's on there. We're kind of updating.
We have
everything.
a weekly update. For Solomon Kane, just like for our other games, and we keep giving and providing new game information, new things, new little things to learn about the stories, and so this is what we have been doing constantly for each of our games. So if you go to the Kickstarter page, you look at the updates, they are public. I think they're open to the public.
Yeah, they are.
You will see what we are doing, and we try to give something new every week.
See, this is what I love about what Mythic Games does. You always continue to engage with the community you build on a Kickstarter, because there are some games out there, it's a flash in the pan. I'm on Kickstarter, I'm off Kickstarter, see you in 2 years.
Yeah.
You guys are continuing to engage with that community, continuing to feed them, keeping that interest there, which is great.
I have to take my hat off to our entire team, because we have 3...
It's a lot of work to do.
For the 3 games we're talking about here, so the next slide shows the next one we're going to chat about, which is Reichbusters. So with these 3 games, we have 3 separate teams, so we have Babis, Deal, Nick all working on Solomon Kane with Jack Thornton helping them, and they go on and they engage with the community, they take ideas and they share them. We have Ed, we have Stu, we have Josh, we have Steve again with Jake as well, with looking after Reichbusters. Then we have the guys in the Paris office who are looking after Joan of Arc. The whole team, they go on and engage. We have Ben who's looking after all the logistics on there. We have everybody at Mythic Games loves to engage and talk with our community because we get ideas, we get good feedback, we're open and honest, we say what it is. So we're just as thankful. We love doing it, and we're just as thankful that people reciprocate.
But it feels like all 3 games are alive.
Yes.
Is the way I would describe it, is that
at different stages. They're all kind of
they're at different stages, but they're all still alive. Even though Solomon Kane is there and it's working on that final production, it's still growing and evolving, and that's something beautiful to see. Sometimes you'll see game finishes on Kickstarter. Okay, that's as far as we're going to take it. Even though they would wish to take it further, they maybe can't, or they're just not ready for it yet. But you guys are, and you're just pushing on, which is cool.
Yeah, I really think the value will show when they arrive to buy.
Yeah, because that's the good point of Kickstarter. It's you can still get some feedback from the community and make it evolve and make it better. Yeah. And if we can, we will.
Although I could do something bad here, Leo. I want you to pick between one of your 3 children.
Oh my word! I know what you can't give in to Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is right.
Probably Joan of Arc. Yeah, but it's a tough question. It's a tough question because I really deeply love each of these games, honestly, and I will play them. But if I had to choose, that would probably be Joan of Arc. But not by far.
And what other version can you play with a 15mm version of yourself? Walk into a tavern, have a chat to a cat, and then slay a dragon. Like, come on, that's Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
So this is the funny thing. So Joan of Arc is kind of delivering literally within the next couple of weeks. Solomon Kane, unfortunately has been pushed back to the start of next year. Reichbusters is basically entering production right now. So we are on, our original estimate was November for this year. So 1 year after the Kickstarter, we're still very much on plan for that.
That's
so
good.
Again, we were always given rough estimations from the factory and from the logistics guys. So we have to.
And if there's anything that changes, we will tell. Of course. But for now, honestly, really, we are very confident. Yes.
Yeah, right. Always.
Reichbusters should be on time.
Awesome.
Couple of updates about it, because again, we were filming Project X with you not that long ago.
Dude, it was so good.
We wanted to come back and show that off. We ourselves had done some filming too, but even since then, we wanted to squeeze in a few more things before we kind of finalized it. So check these out. Now, these don't look like much, but these are different elements that sit on the tiles and are randomized on the tiles when you're playing the game. These are called room features. Now, if you flip over to the next slide, you'll see what I mean. So, on your map, you will have these features, and when your heroes come across them and the Reichbusters see one of them, you will flip it to the other side. But what you'll see on the right is that there are several different potential results to what each of them could be, which means you might have to react. So, for example, a Vril gas leak means you're going to have to stay out of that room or move through it promptly. A corpse cart's going to spawn zombies on you. A dead man's boots might reveal some items that you can pick up. You may be able to spend actions to upgrade the Vril workstation, lets you take your Thompson, make it a Vril Thompson. Lets you upgrade your weapons on the fly.
Nice.
These are elements that are going to help make your scenarios, help make your raid mode games feel a little bit different every single time. We've got the Forge, we've got Mysterious Liquid, and all these different room features will come with the game to add that extra level of unknown and replayability and difference every time you do a mission.
I do like the Praise the Lord one, because if you flip that, the Vrilmeister turns up.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And if he's already there, he brings one of his big badass bosses to come and help as well. So yes, the altar is one you should not go into unless you're prepared. Yeah, exactly. And this is again just kind of adding a little bit of extra flair to the game that we kind of talked about during the Kickstarter, and something with an
replayability also, because there's a lot of replayability here also.
It makes it a little more Hollywood, and it's already really Hollywood.
Yeah, that's right. Kicking in doors and going, I really shouldn't have kicked in this door is all the fun of Reichbusters. It really is. And we have some more stuff that we've been working on. So again, with our What's Up Wednesdays every week, we've been sharing. The team have been fantastic talking about this regularly. So this gives you an idea of the different team cards that you can find within the game. So if you want to go Team Harrier, you can go very much offensive, using weapons, armor-piercing grenades, working together to really synergize ranged attacks. If you want to be Team Kestrel, you can go that solid route where you have people who can successfully commit challenges. If you make a mistake, they can fix it easily. They're like the solid team. If you want to go espionage, you want to go with a disguise kit, you want to go with silent weapons like Knucklebusters, take sneaky, use opportunists to kind of use advantages, go Team Falcon. If you want to go mad, you want to forget heroics and just make all your weapons Vril powered, get Vril implants and become like all sorts of like immune to the power of the energy, go Team Vulture. And these are things you pick at the start of the game. Team Vulture's mad.
I'm looking at it, and I think out of them, Team Vulture is very tempting, I've got to admit.
Once you go Team Vulture, you just go, right? It's because I did our last game we played, I played O'Reilly, the Irish guy who loves Vril, and it's just like, I'm going to throw loads of dice and I might explode, but it'll be fun. And that's O'Reilly. So Team Vulture kind of epitomizes that quite a bit.
And again, that's what blends into the replayability of this, because you could play a different team, but you could also play a completely different set of heroes rolling into the same scenario.
Exactly. You have 17 heroes, so can you imagine the different combinations you can have, and then you have different teams to play, so all these adds a lot of replayability.
The last time you showed us like your beat 'em up character select page, and it's just like, I want some techno music from like an old Super Nintendo rolling in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So what we have for this as well is outside of the team cards, not the next one just yet, but when you're playing the campaign, you don't have a team card per se. What you have instead is Reichbuster HQ. So when you bring weapons back, when you bring items back, when you bring intel back, they'll go into your HQ. And every time you go to the next campaign mission, you'll equip yourselves from the HQ. You can even spend heroics to buy skills permanently for your characters. So you won't just start with your basic skill. You've got 3 more slots on your player board. You'll be augmenting and adding to that as you go through. So when you're playing the campaign, whether it's just the core box campaign or whether you go to Not of This Earth or Project X as well, you will be able to kind of delve into all of that and expand as you go. So the decks never change, but your equipment, your skills, and what your characters can get up to definitely evolves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the skills alone can really make a difference to the different heroes. You know, can you imagine Red Hawk with something super stealthy?
It's so funny. The very first time we played here, we still had Red Hawk being able to fire her sniper rifle silently, and she was a machine. We balanced the heck out of that.
I was a sad panda.
Yeah, we didn't allow her fire her sniper rifle silently anymore because that was too strong. And so part of the love of doing something, Kickstarter and then developing it.
The campaign is going to be really interesting, and it tells a story. There will be some surprises, sometimes things very unexpected, and you will get to discover some secrets. And the finale is very, very cool. So this is going to
we really haven't been giving too much away.
We're currently in a moment in the world where everyone's just going, no spoilers. No spoilers. I'm saying it again.
Spoiler, no spoiling.
But yes, but it's really worth the experience. It's an easy to play mission because you don't have to have the same guys playing with you all the time. The way the mission system was designed, it's very flexible with your friends. So you could
I do like the idea that no one's ever fully knocked out. That if you get knocked out during the mission, you're captured, and then you have to try and come up with the team that's going to save him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and you don't even need the same number of players. You know, it's very flexible again. So that means you will be able to play, and you don't have that many episodes as well. So it's not taking you for a year before you can finish it. So I think it's
a recent tweak we actually made was on that player count point because we wanted to have it feel good at 1, 2, 3, 4 players all the time. 4 players is kind of like our ideal epitome. That kind of feels the nicest with that many players. But if you play with less, we have added little rules in. So for example, you get additional actions to open doors. You get to kind of peek and see things ahead of time to give yourself that balance. So whenever you play with less players, you get the same feeling. And instead of just saying, oh, you have more actions, what we give you is a little flair, a little kind of way to you saying, okay, you're on your own. So because you're just taking this on a solo mission, you can kind of peek things and get a little bit more intel before you make your decision.
Yeah, you're a little more stealthy because you don't have 3 other folks running in behind you.
Exactly that.
A Warren.
A Warren. I love the way that's described. Just a Warren with a pineapple grenade.
So I can't remember. Did I bring another slide in? Did I? Yes. Oh, yes. This. So yeah, we've been filming quite a lot recently, doing a bunch of Let's Plays. Obviously, we did Project X with you guys, and at the same time, we decided we would do an alien mission. So we went onto the Not of This Earth expansion, and we fought against Dr. Koff and the different aliens that are off-world through the Vril portal, using his telekinetic abilities, and these aliens who can mind control and really kind of leech onto you. And this is more stuff that we've kind of been further developing, and it's on our Mythic Games YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out.
We had fun, you can see.
I've got to say, did someone just throw a grenade there or what?
Because
that's a grenade face.
So this is Leo loves it. Stu is not impressed, as is either constipated or just not sure of what just happened, whereas Josh is like, oh my god, that just happened. I'm pretty sure this was the point where a ton of stuff spawned that shouldn't have because we really went a bit too
you're
mad.
Just going, oh
yeah, I'm pretty sure halfway through that mission one of the tiles had a cave in, and we all kind of got stuck in the tile and got swarmed. It got pretty nasty pretty fast. But we did okay.
That's one of the fun things about it is, you might be getting swarmed, but if Sarge is there, just
this is it.
Off he goes with
you got to work out how to solve it. So that's the big bit of news then on Reichbusters is that we're heading towards production very soon. So everything is kind of now being finalized. We're now kind of looking at getting the mass production, the pre-production, the mass production copies through. So we're happy with everything. We are looking at opening the Pledge Manager again because just for a short period of time, just for literally a week or two, so we can get a few more people to submit their details. I cannot stress this enough. If you've backed a Kickstarter and you want to receive your game, you got to go into the Pledge Manager. You got to give us your address, your phone number, your email, and confirm all of that and sort the shipping out, because otherwise we don't know where to send it to. That detail, your address never goes into Kickstarter. It goes into the Pledge Manager.
Okay, so important thing for the Pledge Manager is just something I'm curious about. It's for people just who have already pledged. You can't have late backers.
It's for both. We can indeed.
We can have late backers.
So if you backed on the Kickstarter, come and give your details. If you didn't,
it's only going to be like 15 days or something, like a short period.
It's primarily to get the people that need to give us their details, because what we end up with is always a small percentage of people who kind of miss the Pledge Manager, and then we're stuck with their game going, we want to send it to you.
Yeah, we want to send this to you. Please tell us where.
Exactly. But yes, if you want to late pledge, if you want to add any of the add-ons, the Sergeant Sally, the Army Paint Kit, the nearprime, any of the stuff we've added on in the Pledge Manager, that's all there. And again, it's on GameOnTableTop.com. We're working with those guys again.
The Pledge Manager was pretty successful.
Yeah.
It's this is what we've noticed. we have, well, for Joan of Arc, we doubled what we did, even more. And for the others, we went almost to what we did. So that's pretty impressive.
But can you imagine if those people had done that during the campaigns? How much extra stuff you would have unlocked?
It's a tricky one. That I'm just saying we definitely have more champion ideas. That's we had champions. Sorry, more. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. More Reichbuster ideas. You'll see. Hero champion. They're all champions to me, these hero Reichbusters.
That's a slip right there. That's a slip.
Right, next thing. We're getting into future now. So we've talked about everything that's kind of past and coming, bringing us right up to speed. At Cannes this year, at the Festival International des Jeux, we teased a couple of new things that we've been really quite quiet about. And we're going to just give a little bit more about what 2019 is going to hold for us. So yeah.
You want me to hit the slide?
Yeah. So,
something Viking.
Yes, it's called Hell: The Last Saga. So we are not going to say much because it'll come later. Right now, we're really focused on delivering Joan of Arc.
Of course.
We don't want to, give the impression that we are already launching something else. So this will happen. We will do, and this will be a very different campaign and a different experience. This is a different thing we're trying with this game. What I can give you is a little bit of background that we've already given. So first of all, it will be a board game with different mechanism. It will be, you could call it Viking survival horror type of games.
My wallet's twitching.
So it's year
999.
It's 999.
999, yeah, that's it.
999. So turn of the first century.
Yes.
Millennium.
Millennium.
Oh, sorry,
So you have this Viking king who did this dream on a winter moonless night. This dream of a land of wealth,
bountiful goodness, a place where his people could go and stay and live out their years, get away from the Christianization that's happening. Because it's that time when the Viking kind of is being encroached upon and their livelihood, their lore is being taken away.
And in this land, you have plenty of herd. The land is fertile. It's kind of a promised land. So he had this very, very, very vivid dream, and he had his men, some of his men tattooed on the way how would you call, he wants to go there, so he tattooed like the map on the back of a few men. So he went with his crew over there to found an outpost. Would you say that? An outpost. And then another expedition was supposed to arrive a little later to join them.
Start to build the colony.
Yes.
Start to land there.
Why do I get the feeling this is Canada? Because they actually recently found some Viking settlements in Canada.
Yes, it's Canada, the last saga.
You don't know.
The Maple Leafs.
Could it be Canada? It could be Greenland. We won't tell. But it's so. The second expedition was supposed to arrive after they had been able to create this outpost. So the second expedition goes, and it's a terrible journey. Like, a lot of men die. A lot of it's really, really hard to arrive there, and in the end they have to cross through this misty environment. There's only one ship that makes it, and only a few survivors, 12 survivors. And when they finally arrive, this is not what they expected. And so this will be the basic introduction to each game you play. And we're not going to say too much more about this, but maybe a little bit.
The key thing about Hell is that this is going to be a Kickstarter campaign, and it is going to be, I think the best way I can describe it is a narrative Kickstarter campaign. You're going to join us on a bit of a journey. You're going to reveal it with us as we kind of go through what they're discovering. It's going to be it's not going to be particularly long. It's going to be a kind of short campaign.
The start of the campaign is them landing on the beach then, is it? Okay, this is going to be very different. I'm going to have to keep a close eye on this one.
So as you as a player will essentially be looking after your survivors. I'll be looking after my survivors. Leo will be looking after his survivors. And each one of us will be trying to keep the colony and the outpost
It's really a game. It's not like a fight game. You know, you're not playing only like the big Viking berserkers. No, you have every single people of the Viking society represented. So it could be a child, a hunter,
a traditional fighter,
a bard. It could be a king, of course. It could be a madman. It could be a blacksmith, or even a slave.
Thanes and everything in between.
A jarl. Yeah, exactly. So
it's a real mismatch, and they're all going to uncover. No, I'm not going to. I say their own horrors. I think it's probably enough to say.
Okay.
So whenever you play survival horror, Viking horror, semi-cooperative, dark and dangerous are the feelings, but very thematic, very narrative, which is why we're being a little cards close to our chest on this.
You got me curious, though.
So, but very later this year, and we will start the journey. And welcome everybody to come and join us on it.
Well, if it's going to run quite a short Kickstarter campaign, do me a favor, give us a shout a week before you launch, so that we can warn people.
Can we say something about UK Games Expo?
Do you have
What I'll say is, because we're being quite secretive about this, you may have seen a little bit of art. We did release a very small, I'm not even going to put it on the screen, there's a little small bit, a couple of pieces of art for Hell on Board Game Geek and also on the Mythic Games Facebook page. And we at UK Games Expo are going to be showing Hell, but it is going to be just on display, a little bit on display, but primarily behind closed doors at a press only. A little bit of private space, so we can sit down and show some of the story and some of the game to some of your kind of favorite content creators out there. So once that UK Games Expo will kind of finish on the 2nd of June, and after that, I think the journey may kind of start to appear, and you may start to get some initial feelings out there.
So basically, when I turn up to UK Games Expo, I need to make sure and borrow a Viking battle axe off the Vikings outside to carve my way into the press area. Yeah,
it's going to be. It's not even press area. It's behind closed doors. It is invite only. Yes. So
what we can tell is about the two creators of this game.
Yes, of course.
It's David Rakoto and Christophe Madura. So these gentlemen are friends, have been friends forever, and they have produced the excellent
Word of Smog.
Yes,
the whole series of babies, the gentleman,
Smog,
and the
Rise of the Moloch.
That's it.
Yes, Rise of the Moloch by Simon. It was a very beautiful Kickstarter, and so it's another game that they produced together on a very different theme, but very.
It's really nice to have. They work very closely together, and they have worked very closely together for many years. And usually we like chatting and throwing things back and forth. We like working with artists a lot. And this time we've got two guys, both internal, who speak very regularly every single day. They work in the same office, literally like as far away as we are now, and they synergize so well. And seeing what David describes and how Christophe brings it to life, I was about to say it's good, but it's not. It's chilling, I think is the word I would use.
I mean, the art is so impressive. And
no, let's not. Let's, because we can't show. We're not going to show any of it, so we're just being mean.
It's something different. So Leo, this is why we don't show things for now.
Don't make me gag you.
So Leo, I'm taking you out to dinner tonight. Yeah?
No, you're not. He's under a ball and chain. So we'll switch it up a notch, will we? Yeah. We're going to show some stuff now.
Okay. Completely different.
Whoops. So this was the second thing we talked very briefly about at the Festival International de Jeu in February in Cannes. This is Super Fantasy Brawl.
Yes.
Could not be more of a different feeling game if you even tried. This is a game we're bringing to retail, and it's a very...
so it's not a Kickstarter?
Well, let me come back to you. So it's a retail-focused product, and it will launch at retail next year. We're hoping for a sort of Q1 next year. It'll be something that will be focused on organized play, so kits, store events, very much an easy entry, fun, exciting game, but also very high skill level. So if you like competitive games, this will appeal to you. It will scratch that itch. Super Fantasy Brawl is a game that focuses on going back in time grabbing all of your favorite fantasy characters, whether they're dwarves, elves, ogres, trolls, pirates, samurais, ninjas, assassins, whatever they may be, grabbing them all, bringing them to now, jumping into an arena and brawling. Right. This is essentially. So we are going to be expanding this game into a whole world of different fantasy stereotypes and putting our spin and our kind of flair onto it. So we got a few bits to show off that have been seen before and some new stuff for you guys.
So start cycling through then. Yes.
Let's go. So this is Dogrin,
yes. Dwarf,
Warden of the North. He's our essentially real typical kind of role-playing fighter, but very much empowered by the magic that he uses to defend his homeland. It's Dundurin. I always get the pronunciation wrong. Stu will kill me. Yes, and look, you've got him right there. This is our Seb Levine. This is a 3D print of our first Dogrin, with the scenic base that they will come with. So this game is about picking champions. You'll play a game with 3 champions. It's completely faction free, so you can play elves with dwarves if you really want to, unless you want to kind of hold true to that stereotype that they don't like each other. And you're going to take that team of 3 champions and you're going to mash them together and go and take down your opponent.
Well, I mean, like, it doesn't matter if the elf and the dwarf don't like each other. In this, did you not tell me I'm playing the wizard controlling it? So if I want the dwarf and the wizard or the dwarf and the elf to fight together, they will fight together.
The idea is that in the world of Fabulosa, in this, and we'll have a proper sit-down chat about this for you guys as well, but in the world of Fabulosa, there's been millennia and generations of battles, a never-ending war, and it wasn't until the wizards managed to create what they call true magic. They united creation magic, destruction magic, and manipulation magic to make true magic that would allow them to essentially make everyone's wishes come true. So you want a house, boof, you had a house. You want food, boof, you have food. You want to fly, boof, you can fly. Everything, the whole planet, the whole civilizations were happy. Everything was great. They had everything they ever possibly wanted. And it was boring.
3 colors.
That's it. Yellow, blue, and red that synergize the whole game together of the Super Fantasy Brawl logo. And it's on every single one of our cards because it shows you that the whole world is based on. And to alleviate their boredom, they used to drink, they used to sleep, they used to argue about, from all those millennia, who were the best fighters, who were the best, what race would beat, who was the best warrior of all time. And the only way they could decide to resolve it was to have a brawl. To go back in time with permission of the Council of Corrections, who manage the timelines to make sure that they're not messing wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey with it too much. And whenever the wizards go back, they pick out the champions, bring them to now, and then they battle. They brawl. If you're a good enough wizard, that is, because the Super Brawl is the pinnacle. It's the highest point. If you're not a good enough wizard, if you're in like the lower tiers, you can have Dugrin when he was a bit younger, or Dugrin when he was a bit older. You don't get him when he was in his prime, when he was able to call down blizzards empowered by his magic to hurt his foes. You get him when he's probably a bit more injured and a bit more bedraggled.
In the twilight of his life.
That's right. And then if you work your way up through the leagues and you make it to the Super Brawl, then you can maybe have some of the better champions.
It's the ultimate entertainment show, right? For the masses.
For the utopia that has everything, for the utopia that wants for nothing. They don't need money, they don't need resources, they can just have whatever they want at the click of a finger. This Super Brawl is what
they were bored, and so this will bring them excitement.
Let's have a look at a few more champions. We have a bunch. So here's Gwen. Gwen's the Gathering Storm. I've got a few different ones I'm going to show them, a few more minis. Gwen's the Gathering Storm. She's our high elf, very much stuck up. She was born into nobility. She instantly took to controlling destruction magic. She would wipe out entire armies with fire and lightning without even blinking. She was just the leader of their forces. And she comes to the brawl, and her will, and what she wants if she wins the brawl, is to be able to become a wizard, essentially. She wants to control all 3 types of magic, because she, as a sorceress, essentially, can only control destruction.
So she's a player, but she kind of wants to become a player owner.
That's it. That player owner. That's perfect. If you keep going through, we've got a bunch more.
Yeah, sure. Next up,
here's my favorite champion. This is Goldar, Scourge of the Several Seas. We don't quite know how many, but it is several. He had his ship, the Grave Robber. His sole goal in life is to plunder as much gold and booty as he possibly can.
Look at this mini.
I love the sculpt. See the big swing on the chain there? That is gorgeous. Beautiful. Love the fact that he's got a treasure chest on his back. Yeah. And then this big wheeling harpoon.
And his play style really represents that. He uses his anchor to battle people away, and then he uses his spear to stab them and maneuver them and push and pull them around the arena. It once heard a story that he once fought with a great white shark just to get a gold doubloon from its tooth. That is Goldar. He wishes if he wins the brawl, his wish is to be put back into his timeline and have riches beyond his wildest dreams. But to be honest, I don't think that would really see it him, because his whole thing is that even if he doesn't make a name for himself, which he has already, he could just buy himself a name. He has so much gold.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, surely he just wants to arrive back on his ship and go, Chinese me hearties!
That is it. Like, landlubbers, better beware. Yeah. So, we'll keep going through.
Yeah. So we've got the board.
Yes. So, actually, let's talk about the board, and then I've got some more stuff to show you, actually.
Yeah.
So, this is an early prototype of what the board is going to look like. It is a hex-based arena where you have two opposing teams starting on either side, and then you'll be battling around statues that are empowered by creation, destruction, and manipulation magic, trying to fight over areas, completing challenges, and if anyone's looking keenly, you'll see some art here, which is sneak peeks for the future.
There's a mole man.
I'm saying nothing about...
Is that a mole man, or... No?
I'm saying nothing about what that might be.
I can only imagine what abilities he'll have.
So you've had a chance to play the game a little bit, so you can already think about what he might be up to.
Yeah.
And the idea is that when you're playing, the game's very easy to pick up. You just have 3 actions on your turn, you're moving around, and you're sort of trying to control areas. If we skip forward to the next slide, we'll see a little bit more. So here's an example of, this is Su Zhao. Su Zhao is our Tagaran swords master. We have another Seb Levine beautiful painted mini to show for this.
I'm trying to be very delicate with it, because I don't want to mess up Seb's gorgeous work.
It's worth being very clear about this. These are our 3D print prototypes. It is going to be a retail game next year, but as Justin mentioned, we are hoping that this year we'll be able to have a way of getting this to people a little early, a little pre-order, a little campaign, a little something to get people into.
So an early adopter campaign?
Essentially, yes. That's kind of what we'll be aiming for. These are very, very early, but the bases you see on them and all the detail there, that's exactly the quality we want in the plastic versions that go out.
You keep telling me this is really early. These are gorgeous. Every component I have seen for this.
Yeah.
If I got it as a retail product, I would be happy.
Yeah, I hope so. I grabbed a couple of minis from your supply just to give people at home an idea, because this scale is very different. We've obviously done kind of that 15 kind of roughly scale with Joan of Arc. We've done that kind of 28-32 more for Solomon Kane, and then 32 kind of for Reichbusters. I wanted to show people at home just roughly the comparative size of something in this area. So we have a Primaris Space Marine, plus we also have It's one of the Shea Spire minis, isn't it? Whose name escapes me?
No, he's a regular Stormcast Eternal from our house army.
Yeah, there he is. So this will give you an idea of the kind of scale. We're going pretty large. And we want to go with that kind of over-the-top. If you grab Goldar, actually, he'll show you... Or even our Dwarf, whatever one you prefer. Because as dwarves go, Durgan's a big boy. You know,
he's a big ball,
isn't he? He's a real movable object. Like he can hold the ground, no problem at all. And so we're giving painters hopefully a lot of opportunity to get in and put a bunch of detail on there and enjoy that slightly larger, a bit more over the top and kind of vibrant scale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for Su Zhao, the work that Seb has done on those swords, just those big jade blades, is lovely. And
that's it, because he is the Jade Claw. That's his whole background. And so these are some of our, again, early prototype card layouts. So you can see that when you pick a champion, you'll be playing with 3 in a battle. When you pick a champion, each champion comes with 6 cards. 2, at the moment, the way it's currently playtesting, we have 2 yellow, 2 blue, 2 red. So that's Creation yellow, Manipulation blue, Destruction red. And on your turn, you'll have 3 different actions and use 1 of each color. But you'll have 18 cards in your deck, because you'll have 3 different champions, each bringing 6 unique cards to the table. And these cards can synergize together. The champions can work together and kind of line up and obviously trigger effects, buff each other, debuff their enemies, push and pull their opponents around the battlefield. So this particular character, Su Zhao, is much about pouncing, getting revenge, equalizing the battlefield, empowering himself and empowering his allies to be able to do real damage. He's very much a noble and kind of true character, and his cards all reflect that, his play style. So when you're playing on the battlefield, if you want to skip back one maybe as well, there will be challenges. So you'll be trying to control areas, you'll be trying to control your enemy deployment, you'll be trying to level up your champions by taking down the opponents, and that's all kind of going to be very tactical, because there's no dice. It's all card driven. It's all very deterministic. So the minimum of luck, and you can even, that card draw, you can even mitigate slightly by kind of planning and preparing cards for future turns. So what we've found with playtesting is 9 times out of 10, the better player, or the player that's able to just take advantage of the hand they have or the situation, is the one that comes out on top. Yeah.
Well, it's also the 2 dynamics of play, because you said you have some of the objectives, the challenges. you can focus on those, but it's still an arena game. You
Yep.
can, if you want to just grind someone into the ground,
Yep.
you can go for it.
Absolutely. And we usually find games come down to 1 or 2 knockouts and then 1 or 2 challenges for you to get the 5 points that you need to come away with to win. And it's very rare that it's all knockout or all challenges. It's normally a mix, which is good.
It's a great game, and it's the first time, I think, it's the first game that we discovered during a
Fair. It was
fair.
Essenspiel. Yeah.
And it's probably thanks to Az who first tried the game and said, "Oh, it was awesome," and every single one of us who tried the game loved it, and we have no choice but to just
the designer,
to make it, to publish it.
The original designer of the game. Well, we'll have a proper video where we delve into this a bit more. But the original designer, Joachim Eisenhuth, is actually a teacher, and he spent a year and a half of his life developing and fine-tuning Super Fantasy Brawl to the point where when he brought it to us as a prototype and showed us the game, we were just gobsmacked. We were very, very impressed by the mechanics of the game and the mechanisms and even the initial art and the plans that he had done. So we've essentially taken his core premise, built on it a little, refined it, obviously brought our own art and sculptors on board, and now we're looking at turning this into, as I kind of really want to state, it's an easy access, fun game for anybody, but also going to have that long-term regular releases. Every month we're going to have new champions coming out, so you're faction-free at retail. So we'll have kits where you can go and play, events around the country, hopefully, where you can go and play as well. So we're looking, hopefully, to build a big following with Super Fantasy Brawl. We would like this to be one of our first really long-term, continually supported games that we can get into.
Well, I mean, like, we've played this off camera, and I have to say, it does one thing for me. It tickles my tactical brain.
I thought you were going to say it tickles your tackle.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, there are some games out there, whenever you play them, there's something in them that just, it gives you that little bit of happiness of, I got you here. Yeah. That moment of, if I do this, I got you.
I have solved it. Yeah, that's it.
That pick in the puzzle.
Yeah.
If you skip it, because we were talking about the challenge track, and if you go ahead one more, there we go. So this is very early, very much prototype. There's another little spoiler in this slide as well. This is an idea that, so you have some cases where you have a challenge that you want to have champions adjacent to areas. Sometimes you want to control areas. There'll be other ones that mean you have to level up, or kind of do different things on the battlefield, and this will be moving along a track. So you need to try and time and think ahead to meet the challenges whenever they're worth the most victory points. So that's kind of meant to represent the magic in the arena and the crowds kind of getting riled up. So yes, this is something we'll definitely do some games with. We'll definitely get some early ones out there. It's still very early days for this. And this is, I mean, when we talk about us as a company, we're very, very lucky because right now we essentially have a Joan of Arc team, a Solomon Kane team, a Reichbusters team, a Hell team, and a Super Fantasy Brawl team, all working independently, not kind of overlapping. We essentially have game developers who do come and give some playtesting. And
soon,
give some advice,
we'll be completely finished with Joan of Arc, so the developers there can focus and work on another project.
One of the teams.
So we're kind of so lucky and so thankful for the support that we've got that's enabled us to grow, that we can have so many kind of simultaneous projects without overlapping each other, and we're absolutely blessed.
Very cool.
I'm trying to remember if I did put another little one. No, I didn't. I wrapped it up there.
Game over.
Yeah, right. So we will go in and talk about Super Fantasy Brawl a whole lot more. And we did have a bunch of the cards, but we kind of saw them on the screen. So I think that's kind of, I think, where we are these days.
As always, I am always excited by what you guys are doing. I mean, like, you bring out your next game and it's just like, oh my god, this is even better than the last time. You've done it again here. Because I mean, like, I'm super stoked for Reichbusters. It's one that I am dying to lay my greasy little mitts on. Now I've seen Super Fantasy Brawl and it's just like, but why aren't you shiny? Gimme!
I mean, we hope this is the kind of game that, you can grab a champion for like maybe £10. You can sit at your local store, go down at like 7 o'clock in the evening for 3 hours, maybe play a few different rounds and a little like mini fun event.
Yeah,
for
the
you guys.
game plays fast.
The idea is that you should hopefully, once you got the basics of the game, a kind of 45 minute game is kind of where when you got two kind of equally balanced players, that's kind of roughly what you're looking at. And for us, this is going to be something that we want to support forever. At the minute, we're talking about 6 or so champions initially, but as you've seen from that, we have lots of potential stuff coming.
There's so many things you could do with it. You have every fantasy race, every fantasy class, and you could just go to some very strange places with it as well. Maybe a wizard accidentally taps into an alternate dimension. Whoops.
Oh, man.
Would we do that?
Of course you would. It's you.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Super Fantasy Brawl without some tentacles, right?
There has to be at least one monster in there that just looks like a little bit octopusy.
Like the GoldenEye, is he a James Bond villain? That'd be great. Anyway, so I think the big thing for us is come and check out our Facebook page. The Mythic Games Facebook is a great place to be. We have our Discord channel, which is also a great place to be. Our YouTube channel is really booming at the minute, which is awesome. We've got loads of nice commenters on there. And coming to see you guys is obviously great. So Joan of Arc is going to be delivering soon. So we're looking forward to loads more videos for that, putting out the battle mode, seeing what people do with the scenario generator. Reichbusters, the pledge manager, will be open for a little while, so if you want to get in on it, it's just going to be open for a very short period. Solomon Kane's pledge manager is open, and it will be open for at least a few months now while we kind of finalise the development.
And does it also allow for late pledges?
It does indeed, yeah, absolutely.
Just for anyone who's wondering, because I'm sure someone out there is going, does it? I could?
Yeah, so it's all on GameOnTabletop.com. It's not on tabletop.com, it's GameOnTabletop.com.
Not affiliated.
No, not affiliated. And then, hopefully, if people are into this new stuff, Survancy Brawl will start to share more as it kind of continues to develop. And with Hell, that's going to be a journey. Yeah.
Trust me, I'm going to be twisting Leo's arm as soon as we're off camera. All right, everybody, tell you what, get your comments in below. What do you think? What are you excited for? Personally, for me, it's Reichbusters and Super Fantasy Brawl that I'm dying for. But get those comments in. We'll move on and we'll get back to the Weekender.